Five, six, seven, eight.
Hi guys!
I am John Ryan Barcelona.
And I'm Rosangelo Cruz.
And we are
We're
from
from
Bulacan
Bulacan
State
State
University, College of Information and Communication Technology.
Uy!
Pa!
Uy!
Pa!
Uy!
Pa!
Ano ba talaga kasi gusto mo?
OS nga kasi.
Ano ba kasi yung OS na yun?
Ipapaliwanag ko sa'yo kung ano OS.
An operating system is system software that manage computer hardware and software, resource and provides common services for computer programs, time-sharing operating system schedule tasks for efficient use of the system, and may also include accounting software for cost allocation of processor time, mass storage, printing, and other resources, for hardware functions such as input and output, and memory allocation. The operating system acts as an intermediary between programs and the computer hardware, although the application code is usually executed directly by the hardware and frequently makes system calls to an OS. Function is interrupted by it. Operating system are found on many devices that contain computer, for cellular phones and video game console to web server and supercomputers.
O ngayon, alam mo na kung ano OS.
Oo na, alam ko na. Pero, Windows yung OS natin na.
O sige, tara na. Simulan natin yung Windows.
Windows OS, computer operating system developed by Microsoft Corporation to run personal computers, featuring the first graphical user interface or GUI for IBM-compatible PCs. The Windows OS soon dominated the PC market. Approximately 90% of PCs run some version of Windows.
Ngayon, alam na natin kung ano ang Windows OS.
Okay, ngayon naman, alamin natin kung ano ang iba't ibang version ng Windows simula noon hanggang ngayon sa latest na Windows 10.
Windows 1.0 was a graphical personal computer operating environment developed by Microsoft. Microsoft had worked with Apple Computer to develop application for Apple's January 1984 original Macintosh. The first mass-produced personal computer with a graphical user interface, GUI, that enabled user to see user-friendly icons on screen. Windows 1.0 was released on November 20, 1985 as the first version of the Microsoft Windows line. It runs as a graphical 16-bit multitasking shell on top of an existing MS-DOS installation. It provides an environment which can run graphical program designed for Windows as well as existing MS-DOS software. Windows 2.0 is a 16-bit Microsoft Windows GUI-based operating environment that was released on December 9, 1987 and is the successor to Windows 1.0. Windows 2.0 allowed application windows to overlap each other, unlike its predecessor Windows 1.0, which could display only tiled windows. Windows 2.0 also introduced more sophisticated keyboard shortcuts and the terminology of minimize and maximize, as opposed to iconize and zoom in Windows 1.0. Windows 3.0, a graphical environment, is the third major release of Microsoft Windows and was released on May 22, 1990. It became the first widely successful version of Windows and a rival to Apple Macintosh and the Commodore Amiga on the graphical user interface front. It was followed by Windows 3.1. Windows 3.1 is a series of 16-bit operating environments produced by Microsoft for use on personal computers. The series began with Windows 3.1, which was first sold during April 1992 as a successor to Windows 3.0. Subsequent versions were released between 1992 and 1994 until the series was superseded by Windows 95. During its lifespan, Windows 3.1 introduced several enhancements to the still MS-DOS-based platform, including improved system stability, expanded support for multimedia, TrueType fonts, and workgroup networking. Windows 95 is a consumer-oriented operating system developed by Microsoft as part of its Windows 9X family of operating system. The first operating system in the 9X family, it is the successor to Windows 3.1 and was released to manufacturing on August 15, 1995 and generally to retail on August 24, 1995. Windows 95 merged Microsoft's formerly separate MS-DOS and Windows products and featured significant improvements over its predecessor, most notably in the graphical user interface and in the simplified plug-and-play features. There were operating systems such as moving from a mainly cooperative multitask 16-bit architecture to a 32-bit preemptive multitasking architecture.
Windows 98 offers support for a number of new technologies including FAT32, AGP, MMX, USB, DVD, and ACPI. Its most visible feature, though, is the Active Desktop, which integrates the web browser with the operating system. From the user's point of view, there is no difference between accessing a document residing locally on the user's hard disk or on a web server halfway around the world. The Windows Millennium Edition, called Windows Me, was an update to the Windows 98 core and included some features of the Windows 2000 operating system. This version also removed the boot in DOS option, a version of the Windows operating system. Windows NT, or New Technology, is a 32-bit operating system that supports preemptive multitasking. There are actually two versions of Windows NT. Windows NT Server, designed to act as a server in networks, and Windows NT Workstation, for standalone or client workstations.
Windows 2000 is an operating system that was produced by Microsoft as part of the Windows NT family of operating system. It was released to manufacturing on December 15, 1999 and launched to retail on February 17, 2000. It is the successor to Windows NT 4.0. 4 editions of Windows 2000 were released: Professional Server, Advanced Server, and Data Center Server. The latter was both released to manufacturing and launched months after the other edition, while each edition of Windows 2000 was targeted at a different market. They shared a core set of features including many system utilities such as the Microsoft Management Console and standard system administration applications. Windows XP is a personal computer operating system produced by Microsoft as part of the Windows NT family of operating system. It was released to manufacturing on August 24, 2001 and broadly released for retail scale on October 25, 2001. Development of Windows XP began in the late 1990s as Neptune, an operating system built on the Windows NT kernel, which was intended specifically for mainstream consumer use. An updated version of Windows 2000 was also originally planned for the business market. However, in January 2000, both projects were shelved in favor of a single OS codename Whistler, which would serve as a single OS platform for both consumer and business markets. As such, Windows XP was the first consumer edition of Windows not to be based on MS-DOS. Windows Vista is an operating system that was produced by Microsoft for use on personal computers, including home and business desktops, laptops, tablet PCs, and media center PCs. Development was completed on November 8, 2006, and over the following 3 months, it was released in stages to computer hardware and software manufacturers, businesses, customers, and retailer channels on January 30, 2007. It was released worldwide and was made available for purchase and download from the Windows Marketplace. The release of Windows Vista came more than 5 years after the introduction of its predecessor, Windows XP, the longest time span between successive release of Microsoft Windows desktop operating system.
Windows 7 was released by Microsoft on October 22, 2009, as the latest in the 25-year-old line of Windows operating systems and as the successor to Windows Vista, which itself had followed Windows XP. Windows 7 was released in conjunction with Windows Server 2008 R2. Windows 7 Server counterpart. Enhancements and new features in Windows 7 include multi-touch support, Internet Explorer 8, improved performance and startup time, AeroSnap, AeroShake, support for virtual hard disks, and new and improved Windows Media Center and improved security. Windows 8 was released on August 1, 2012 and is a completely redesigned operating system that's been developed from the ground up with touchscreen use in mind as well as near instant on capabilities that enables a Windows 8 PC to load and start up in a matter of seconds rather than in minutes. Windows 8 will replace the more traditional Microsoft Windows OS look and feel with the new Metro design system interface that first debuted in the Windows Phone 7 mobile operating system. Metro user interface primarily consists of a start screen made up of live tiles which are linked to application and features that are dynamic and update in real time. Windows 8 supports both x86 PCs and ARM processors. Windows 10 is a Microsoft Windows successor to Windows 8. Windows 10 debuted on July 29, 2015, following a technical preview beta release of the new operating system that arrived in fall 2014 and the consumer preview beta in early 2015. Microsoft claims that Windows 10 features fast startup and resume, built-in security, and the return of the start menu in an expanded form. This version of Windows will also feature Microsoft Edge, Microsoft's new browser. Any qualified device such as tablets, PCs, smartphones, and Xbox consoles can upgrade to Windows 10, including those with pirated copies of Windows.
Hi guys! Thank you for watching our vlog. Once again, I am John Ryan Barcelona.
And I am Ross Angelo Cruz.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our vlog in Scholar TV. Bye-bye!